Moving along with 4.6, we have two ideas in here, really. One of them is dead simple and mathematic. The other one is logical and for you to use. What I'll tell you is I will let you guys read up on running totals. What we're saying is, as a matter of data and as a matter of the importance of data, oftentimes what we need as an organization and oftentimes what we have to provide as a developer are totals of things, right? So how many sales did we have in one given region? Well, how do we get that? Well, we take all the individual stores in our region and we total them up. Boom, totals. There you have it. The really interesting thing here is what is known as a sentinel value. And we can see this here is on page 220, but I'll talk us through what a sentinel is. A sentinel value provides you with a way to get out of a loop. And that can be important, right? Because what we're saying is, as a developer, we still don't know how many times you're going to be inside of a loop, even if I think I know how many times you'll be in there. So if you'll remember what a classroom looks like, right? We have rows and we have columns. And on the very first day of class, invariably, on the very first day of class, if I was to take attendance, all of my rows and all of my columns would be full because the class would be full. But as the semester goes on, we suffer atrophy, right? Some people drop out. It doesn't work with their schedule. Other people get jobs. Other people can't stand me. And what ends up happening is we have fewer and fewer and fewer people potentially in that classroom, right? So on day number 1, I think I know that if I have 25 students in a classroom, and if I was to get a name for every student in that classroom, I could build a for loop that says, for number equals 1, number less than or equal to 25, number plus plus, because I know that I've got 25 seats, I'm going to have 25 students, and I can get all 25 of your names. But what happens on the week of a holiday? Half of you show up, right? Half of you jackwagons are like, yeah, let's keep going to class. It's not a vacation yet. The other half of you jackwagons are like, I can start my vacation early if I do not go to Java this week. Jackwagons. So I really can't use that same for loop to get all of those names anymore, right? Because I don't have 25 students in there today. I'm going to have 13 students in there today because it's half as many as are still enrolled or whatever the case might be. So I need some way to get out of that loop. I need some way to get out of a while loop. And a sentinel value gives that to us. Now, a sentinel value is two things. It is, number one, outside of the realm of probable values. So let's say, for example, we were doing averages for a course. So for your grade, so what is your grade average going to be? We would expect that your grade average is what? It starts at 0 and it works its way to 100, right? So that is the realm of probable values. So a sentinel value should not be 0 to 100. But now what we have to start doing is, let's eliminate the possible values. Is it possible that a student gets 101%? Yeah, right? There might be extra credit. You can get 101%. How about 105%? A little less likely, but it's not impossible, right? So 105 is not a good sentinel value. What about 110? Less likely, but it's not impossible, because what happens if while I'm typing 100, I accidentally say 110? It's not outside of the realm of possibility. So 110 does not make a good sentinel value because it is both possible and probable. How about 999? Now, I know, and you know, that the only way you are getting a 999 as part of your grade average is if you you bring a dump truck worth of money, or a big, a bag with a money symbol on it, and you hand it to me and you go, here you go, Eric, this is my grade. And I will open it up. I will look and make sure that they are non-sequential bills, that they are actual money that I can use, and that there is no cameras here seeing me take your obvious bribe. And as long as the bribe is worth my time, yes, you get a score of 999. Congratulations. So 999 might be something that you'll see as a possible Sentinel value, because it is both outside of the realm of possible and probable values. But what I'll tell you is, what happens if you earn a 99? And it's not impossible to hit 999 when you are entering that data as a mistake. It's not impossible. So what I would suggest to you is a great Sentinel value for anything numeric where you are expecting 0 to 100 or 0 to 1,000,000, it doesn't really matter, is a -1. If you look at your keyboard, -1 are on opposite sides of your number row. And if you look at a keyboard with a dedicated number pad, -1 are on opposite sides of your number pad as well. So -1 is not a good value for a grade point, right? Because you can get a 0. I can't assign you asshole tax, right? No matter how terrible you might be, I cannot give you a negative for your grade point average. So -1 makes a fantastic Sentinel value because it is outside of the range of possible numbers. It is outside of the range of probable numbers, and it is outside of the range of mistaken entry numbers. So think about what would you input as a way to get out of a loop. So if we are taking names for a class, to go all the way back to the first example we had, we are inputting names for a class. Quit is a good one because probably no one has the name Quit, right? -1 is even better because I can assure you that nobody has the name of -1. I can assure you that -1 is very, very difficult to be able to input by accident on the keypad, and it's outside of the range of possible values because ever since like someplace in the 90s, you cannot have numeric values for your name anymore because nothing but jackwagons did it, and it turned out to be a huge pain in the ass. So finally the Fed said, look, you can name yourself Abby Quasi and use weird symbols and stuff like that. As long as they're not numbers, have at it, weirdo. So even if we're inputting things like name, Quit is a good Sentinel value because probably nobody's name is Quit. And it gives you something to test that allows you to leave a loop. -1 gives you something to test that allows you to leave a loop because probably we're not going to have somebody whose name is -1. Probably we're not going to have somebody with asshole tax on their grade point average so that it has to be a negative number. So Sentinel values are important to you because it allows you to break out of a loop before you're expecting to, which happens all the time.